Nope, Mike wasn't on. There we go. Now Mike's on. X is less than or equal to 7. So that's an example. Shh, boys and girls. Boys and girls. This is an example of a conjunction. X is greater than or equal to 5, and it's less than or equal to 7. It has to satisfy both of those, not just one or the other, but it has to satisfy both of those. Here's an example of a disjunction. Give me a number that works there. 0 works, positive 4 works, but negative 4 does not work. Okay, so this is a disjunction. And my question, Kristen, was this. Can you give me an example of a number that works here? Positive 4 does. Negative 6 does. But negative 4 does not work. It has to satisfy both of these, or one of these pieces, and it does not. Negative 4 is not to the left of negative 5. It is not to the right of negative 3. And so if I write this down, x could be over here, or x could be over there. So how does x compare to negative 5? X is less than negative 5. And if it's separated, we put an or right in between. How does x compare to negative 3? So x is less than negative 5, or x is greater than or equal to negative 3. You see the closed circle, so it could be equal to. One closed and one open. Now, Dylan, you're right. In the problems that we did on Friday, Dylan, problems we did on Friday, they're not going to work out like that where you have one or the other. They'll both be the same. But you could have that. Yep. Okay. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down I have just a few sample problems for you here. 2, 3, and 4. They each have 2 problems. You don't have to draw the whole thing out, but I'd like you to try to write the inequality for each one. I'd like you to try to write the inequality for each one. That should be a 0. So take a couple minutes, quick try to write the inequality, and we'll check and see how you did. Okay. This next one should be x is greater than negative 5 and less than 15. Should look like that. This one should be x is less than 0 or x is greater than 7. This should be x is less than or equal to negative 8 or x is greater than or equal to 0. This should be x is greater than 11 and less than 14. And this should be x is less than negative 5 or x is greater than negative 5. For the very last one, what's the only number that won't satisfy that? Negative 5. So this inequality represents all values except for the number negative 5. Okay? Any questions on writing inequalities? Everybody remember how to do that now? Okay, then please, you can save that as notes. Please pull out the worksheet that I gave to you. We're going to practice that piece. People did pretty well with this today. I think that you will as well. So today what we want to do is we want to graph quadratic inequalities. So on Friday, we were practicing solving. So here's the difference. On Friday, we did a solving piece. Today, we do a graphing piece with two variables. So on Friday, you were looking at inequalities that look like this. Say x squared minus 4x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. How many different variables are in that problem? There's one. X is the only variable. Whereas if you look at this problem, how many variables are there? There's two. If there's one variable, we just have one axis. You guys plotted one axis and you tested points. Well, now we have two axes, okay? And so we have to graph it on a coordinate plane because there are two variables. So that's the way you could tell whether you do just one for testing points or whether you do two is how many variables you have. And here's all we're going to do is we're going to identify these pieces of the graph, and then we're going to show you how to graph it. First, we identify the vertex. And so if you remember that sheet that we had that talked about parabolas, both in vertex form as well as standard form, do you remember what form is this, vertex or standard? This is vertex form. Anytime you have a parentheses quantity squared, that generally means that it's going to be in vertex form. Does anybody remember what the vertex is when you look at this? You're right. If you look at y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k, the h value is our x, and the k value is our y. So the vertex will be positive 4 and negative 1. It's opposite that. We've been over this, right? We tested over this. You guys did very well. This is information hopefully you remember. We've hopefully pounded it into your brain. If you don't remember this, then you really got to practice it on this worksheet, and you got to get your chart out that shows you all those things. So we have 4, negative 1. So I'm going to plot that over 4 and down 1. Now I decide, does it go up or down? How do you know? Because there's no negative in front. So the direction is up. And before I draw it, I'm going to decide if it's going to be a solid graph or a dashed graph. Solid would be like this. Dashed would be like this. So which is it? It's dashed. Now, I'm not going to make you guys find the y-intercept. I'm not going to make you find the x-intercepts. I'm not going to make you find 2, 3, 4, 5 points. We've already practiced that. I just want you to understand the inequality portion. So I've graphed this. Now, the deal is that either all of the points inside the graph work or all the points outside the graph work. And we have to try to decide which it is. And here's how. You need to really focus for the next 2 minutes, and it's not too difficult, but it's not like anything we've really done before, okay? Let's look at this. It says y is less than. Y is less than. Is y up and down or side to side? Up and down. So I take my pen and I go straight to the vertex, all right? It says y is less than. So does that mean I go up or does that mean I go down? I go down. Am I on the outside of the parabola or on the inside of the parabola? I'm on the outside, so I shade everything on the outside. That's it. I'll do it one more time. Watch. Take your pen, you put it on the vertex. It says y is less than. So do I move up or do I move down? I move down. It does seem too easy, doesn't it? But it works. Letter B, is that in vertex form or standard form? It's in standard form. Boys, remember I had you guys move on Friday because you couldn't pay attention? Sounds like a pretty good idea right now. Vertex. The vertex in standard form is negative b divided by twice the a value. Negative b divided by twice the a value. Vertexes. So when it's in standard form, you do negative b divided by 2a. So yes, I do expect you remember how to do this from a couple weeks ago. That's information we hopefully should have learned and retained. First one is vertex form. This is standard form, but I'm still finding the vertex. In order to find the vertex, we do negative b divided by 2a. Negative b would be positive 4 divided by twice the a value, positive 2. And I get 2. Once I get my x value for the vertex, how do I get my y value? I plug it back in. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So 4 minus 8 plus 3, negative 1. 4 minus 8 is negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So my vertex is 2, negative 1. I plot 2, negative 1. Now I look for the direction. What's the direction? Is it up or down? It's up. Solid or dashed? Solid. I draw my graph. How do you know that? Pen on the vertex. Y is greater than, so I go up. I'm on the inside, so I shade the inside. Because it says Y is greater than. So when I get my pen there and I move up, okay, let's do 2 more together. You guys can work on the rest of the worksheet the rest of the hour. Oh. Number 1, is it in vertex form or standard form? Vertex form. What is the vertex? Negative 2, positive 4. Does it go up or down? It goes down. Is it solid or dashed? Is a dashed graph. There's my graph. In order to see which side I shade, I will put my pen on the vertex. It says y is greater than. So since y is greater than, I move up. And when I move up, I'm on the outside. Because I'm on the outside, I shade the outside. I sneezed so hard on Friday, 2 times, I strained the oblique muscle over here. You ever done that before? It hurts. It hurts so bad I couldn't sleep Friday night. I was taking ibuprofen. I hurt so bad. Every time I coughed or sneezed, I was just in tons of pain. It's still very sore today. Yes, I'm very excited for track and field. Uh, Comparatively, I'm not very fast anymore. I guess for compared to other 33-year-old guys, I'm probably, you know, above average for speed. Yes. Um, I don't know if I could beat you in a race. Back in my day, I'm sure I could have run faster than you. You look rather slow and out of shape. So, all right, let's vertex. Is this in standard form or vertex form? This is technically it's in both. You could read it in standard form or vertex form. Now we'll do vertex or we'll do standard form here, but I just want to show you guys. This is like y equals x minus 0 quantity squared plus 3, right? I mean, there's a 0 in there. There's nothing being squared. So you can tell right now your vertex could be 0, 3. But we'll do it the way that you guys know how. We do negative b divided by 2a. What is the b value? 0. And 0 divided by 2 times 1 is 0. So 0 is the x value. How do you figure out the y value? Plug it in. And 0 squared plus 3 is 3. So you can see that it works out either way. So I plot 0, 3. Now I identify the direction, up or down, solid or dashed. And it says y is less than. So I shade the outside. Because when you go to the vertex and then you move down, you're on the outside because y is less than. So you shade everything on the outside. Okay, it's time for you guys to get started on the remainder of your worksheet. That's how you graph quadratic inequalities. Good luck.